Alright, it is time for day 8. So today we're going to go ahead and try to clear Torg DLC, and we will go ahead and try to clear Hammerlock DLC. I ended up doing a lot of stuff yesterday and I didn't realize it until I started editing it. So we're going to try to get through this without looking at everything, because I will be doing multiple playthroughs, and I already kind of have an idea of what I want to do with the character. So for the first, progression, basically, until we get through UVHM, we're going to be doing just basically our melee gun build. And then whenever we get into DigiPeak, I would love to do a more gun-centric character. So we're going to do a little bit of the Hellborn tree, we'll dip a little harder into left tree, and then we'll try to get some of the more fun skills out of middle tree instead. Of course, Empty the Rage and Feed the Meat are still going to be great. The extra health regen here is good, but maybe instead of Salt the Wounds, or instead of like STV, we could get the movement speed, and then we could play around that too. So that would be a lot of fun, but we'll kind of just figure it out as we go. So the Torg vendor is right there, so I might as well just see what it sells. Okay, pretty much the normal stuff, and then we do have the Starburst. Okay, I can't get that, but that's interesting. It almost is, it makes me think it's just a Blaster that explodes many times. So that would be super cool. We could sit here and roll through them all, but we're not going to be able to test any of them, and I'll probably test them in the future, so we probably just won't do that. So, for Pete, realistically, he's gonna be the same fight that he always is. Yeah, there's not really any preparing for this. This is kind of just how it is. Does he resist explosive pretty well, right? Okay, maybe not. Okay, nothing resists Javelin. I think this is one thing from War Machine that I would love to see in literally every mod pack ever, is the faster ladder climbing. Because this, I mean, it's not slow, obviously, but it's not nearly as fast as it was in War Machine, and that was a really nice thing. Alright, so little piece of advice for this mission right here, the death race. If you spawn a car and immediately start driving away, it starts the timer. So you can go ahead and get that little bit of extra time save on that if you feel like you really need it, especially if you're doing tier 3 of the death race, and also of course bring the whatever Ellie's booster relic is that gives cars more boost time, and that'll help out a lot too. Alright, so Motor Mama, I have an inquiry. Can I just kind of okay, that doesn't take knockback. I was gonna say that would be really funny if it did. That felt really good. Okay, so... Okay, never mind, it's Torg. You know, it might be a good idea to get a new Javelin. Although we do need one with a redemption sleeve, so farming it out is actually going to be kind of difficult. But something with really good parts would be insane. And especially if it rolled 2 redemption sleeves, because I did see an item that had 2 of the same accessory. That could be really fun. Alright, cool. So this one has redemption sleeve, and it also has a Torgue exhaust. So that means that it'll be dealing a little bit more damage. I did get a slag one, but upon throwing it, it did actually deal slag damage instead of explosive. So we will prefer explosive as a more neutral element overall. But if that means it can also roll like fire or something, we might want to keep that in mind for raid bosses because most of them have flesh health bars. Alright, I found what the piranha is good for. That's actually super duper nice. For like airborne enemies, to like actually just track them real quick. That's super cool. Here, let's try it with this. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that almost makes it look absurd. It's a good thing we don't normally do that. I have an idea. So what if we put on... let's put on the Legendary Psycho. I know it's only level 24, so it has +2 skills, but what if we put that on? We put on the Uzi, and we put on the Adrenaline Rush. And the Allegiance Relic we still have from way earlier in the game. You know, the damage might not be high, but man, that's funny. Right, cool, there we go. So that just leaves BA Rex. And honestly, with the Uzi and the B shield on, well, the B shield on, it might actually just be a super chill, easy fight. So that could be really fun. Alright, so here's the plan. I don't think the BA Rex reflects anymore, but that doesn't mean that the fight's not gonna hurt still. So we're just gonna respectfully go this way immediately. And yeah, he doesn't reflect, so that feels really, really good. But he's still gonna be like uber thick, so this might take a while. Okay, he just ignores TDR throws entirely. That's kinda scary. Honestly, he's just such an aggressive boss. I think that's a major problem with trying to fight him. It's just the fact that, like, he just immediately turns on you and then just chases you down. If he had to, like, take a couple seconds between attacks to, like, pause and do stuff, maybe the average character could, like, get behind him to get some crits in. But his attack rate is just so high. Alright, so the Celica might have been nerfed, and it might only deal about a quarter as much as it used to. But man, when you get those stacks up, it really doesn't matter, thank goodness, because that fight was really rough. Yeah. BA Rex always just makes me not want to actually, like, fight the final boss. It's just such a rough fight. Alright, so with another DLC down, you know we gotta go ahead and try the raid boss since we're here, and since we've already done the last 2 DLCs raid bosses. I don't think this one will be a hard one. This should pretty much just be get stacks, get a kill, and then throw a Javelin, and probably win. Okay, so, Pyro P. Get him spawned in, get him dealing damage to us. Right, so we go ahead and take our damage lumps here. You know, honestly, I have a great idea. We pop this, we get that panic health regen. Then we go ahead and kill one enemy. Okay, that didn't quite work out how I wanted it to, because they just immediately started blowing up. I didn't realize they had such small health pools, or else I would have not planned it out like that. I have a better idea. Let's test out how nerfed the Celica really is. Because I think with these two skills and running it alongside, I don't know, even just the max health, just to eat some more damage, it might just give us the win by itself. Alright, cool. So we respect. Honestly, this might be a better permanent spec anyway, because it spec'd out a Bloody Blade, and all that Bloody Blade was doing was giving us a little bit of lifesteal when we were at max stacks, which is where we already have all of our damage res anyway, so we didn't really need it at that point. We really needed it when we're lower into our stacks. But instead we can go ahead and get some more gun and grenade damage from these two skills, and surely that'll just kind of carry us. Okay, so already the Celica is just sort of dealing a lot of damage. And I mean, it does have a lot of buffs going for it right now. But overall, like, this isn't hard to maintain at all. Okay, so the second we knocked the Pete's faceplate off, it instantly has become a lot easier. So I guess next time, if I were to do this again, I would definitely want something like a Trespasser, or just like a gun with Jacob's parts on it to be able to pierce that shield. Because, yeah, that would have saved a lot of time, probably. Alright, cool, there we go. So yeah, towards the end there, I let the rats kind of just pick on me a little bit, and that let the Celica stack up a ton of damage. So that on top of the extra 100% damage from like here, and on top of having Salt of Wounds to apply even more damage, that ended up basically giving us the win. Next time, I think I'd probably want a better kit for this or something, because that felt actually a little bit more difficult than it was supposed to. Right, and from it, we got the Nitro Booster. So chance to drop a shield booster when damaged, and it still has the Big Boom Blaster shield part on it. So I'd have to imagine it's just a Big Boom Blaster. Okay. So Big Boom Blaster booster. So it adds 1 grenade to your ammo when picked up. Additionally, you and your allies will have a 15-second buff that increases reload speed and fire rate. Shields do not regen. Spawned from a player-equipped booster shield. Okay. So it doesn't provide regen to the shield anymore, but it gives you 1 grenade, and then it gives everyone some reload and fire rate temporarily. So that's kind of cool. Alright. And since we're in the DLC already, let's go ahead and check what these are. So these appear to still just be crossfires and meteor showers. So those seem normal. And then Excalibur gives 91% melee damage and a 64% override cooldown rate. That's really strong. If it's additive, even if it's additive, it's still pretty good. Normally melee relics are. But that's super cool. I'm going to go ahead and save quit and see if we get like punchies or sponges or anything too in here. Okay, and 4th try, still no shields in here at all. So maybe the sponge and the punchy got moved, or maybe I just have really bad luck with it. I don't know. From here, we're going to start everyone's favorite DLC with everyone's favorite raid boss. So let's go ahead and get started with Hammerlock DLC. I didn't really think that through. They were just stuck and I didn't want them to be stuck anymore. Okay, now we have to go chase them all down. Okay, so in right tree, Horrid Halitosis would allow us to apply a slag by just pressing our melee, but I don't want to have it override our melee a bunch, and I'd rather just stay swinging. So we're going to put a point into Flash Fire so that we can get further down the tree. And then, honestly, like, most of the skills from here on are really, really good, so it's going to be hard for me to pick. Fortunately, though, we've got quite a few skill points still to pick out what we want. I am constantly reminded that I should just be wearing a melee shield on this character. Even though Krieg greatly benefits from health shields, it's just the max health relics make up for it, no problem. And I mean, just like, the damage is so high. I really should have tried it against Pete. I've thought of a really good way to implement Krieg's knockback resistance. So, what if Krieg only got his knockback resistance during Buzz X? I think that would make a lot of sense. Because that's when you need it. And then the entire rest of the time, you could have access to, you know, the knockback, so that you can do things like rocket jump. Okay. So this boss is always kind of a little bit weird, but it's mainly because he has his reflective property. But if I'm lucky, they got rid of it. He doesn't reflect stuff anymore. That's so nice. That's super duper nice. That's one of the main complaints that I have about this DLC. All the bosses are just like so painful with that reflection. Cool. Alright. Well, hold on. I'll get to you. Just follow through. That's better. Alright. So, let's see. Can I use the Black Pearl against this guy? It feels like I can. Alright, cool. Already got one down. That really didn't take much time at all. That felt super easy. Right, there's 2 down already. That was 2 magazines. That was 2. I didn't even, like, this is a level 51. It's not on level, it's 5 levels under. So that was really strong. Cool, I guess. Alright, so out of this loot room, all we really got was this new comm. And then we also got an SMG pistol and shotgun stockpile relic here. So those are pretty cool overall, but yeah, that's all we really got. And that does mean that it's time to try Vora. I do not expect us to even win this fight today. We'll give it a good couple of attempts, but if it doesn't go well, it just won't go well probably. Until we get some better stuff going for ourselves, like some better equipment. Okay, so for Vora, we're gonna try doing it with melee, and then we're gonna try doing it with the Celica if that doesn't go well. So hopefully this will work, but if it doesn't, we have options. Now, big question is, how much do you hurt? That's a need to know. Okay, your health bar is pretty movable. I like that. And I don't feel at risk yet. Okay, so I already get the feeling that the Celica, even though it's nerfed, is still going to be the move. So let's go ahead and just treat our character like they're a gun character now. Just kind of see how well that helps us along instead. Okay, the Celica is putting in a lot of work here. Especially when you think about the fact that, like, his shield is not down. This is purely explosive and fire against a shield right now. And it's still not doing too bad. It feels like the game is being generous with midget spawns too, and I'm pretty sure that's mod related. So the very large amount of like extra ads that we have is super nice. But we did it. So I guess that'll go ahead and do it for that fight. Once again, we've got our Slayer of the Seraphs comm, so that's just a funny like damage class mod. We've got the Hawkeye, so it can also drop from here like it's normally supposed to, so that's kind of fun. And I guess that's it. We only got those two drops. I don't really see anything else. So yeah, I guess we just got a Hawkeye and a Slayer of the Seraphs comm again. But I mean, that's fine. That's pretty chill. Okay, cool. Let's go turn in and see what the vendor's like. The Bessie. What are you? This has to be dedicated, right? Or is this a hybrid? Okay. That's so many pellets. Alright, hold on. Let's go ahead and check this vendor. So, a Dominator? Rain Fire. Okay, we can't really check what that does yet, but it sounds kind of like the Lead Storm. So that's kind of neat sounding. And then the Venom, which is replacing the Infection, but does pretty much the same job, it seems. And then there's no item of the day. Let's save quit and see if that's still the case. Okay, and still no. So I guess this just doesn't exist, probably. But I'd be curious about these. This has a really, really big max size, and I just now saw that. Also, we're not done yet. There's still another raid boss right there. So we're gonna go ahead and get him spawned too, because why not? Right, so that just leaves us with Dexy. We do have this fun new gun to test out. And I think, yeah, it'll make popping these really, really easy. With that times 12 pellet count, even if we miss, we probably won't. Okay. So I gotta be honest, that took a lot longer than I wanted it to. But that's just kind of how Dexy is. I can't really blame the mod on that. It's just kind of, yeah, that's just Dexy. They dropped a Hawkeye as well. Okay, so we now have two. And then this is the Nighthawk. So this is what happened to the Orphan Maker, it looks like. So what do you do? Okay. Just reflective with an organized pellet spread? That's what it looks like. So it looks like there's more pellets if we let it reflect off of something. Because if we just shoot it, and if we just look at these, it looks like it's just 2 pellets. As far as I can tell. Those are a little bright, so maybe they're all just like bunched together. But yeah, the second we let it reflect off something, that's, you know, that just is clearly a lot more pellets going on. So yeah, that's interesting. It's a little reflective type of shotgun instead of the Orphan Maker, which is pretty cool. Oh, it can happen. Okay. So if we look at this on the accessories, it shows 2 redemption sleeves, which means that we can get 2 really big damage accessories back to back on one of these items. And then we could also get it with like Torg parts. So if we did that with a Javelin, that could be incredible damage. Like that's an insane amount of damage. So that could be really fun, but that's a lot of part farming. So I don't know if we'll need it, but if we do, at least we know it's there. That's pretty much it for these 2 DLCs. Overall, I mean, not too bad. Pyro Pete was weirdly thicker than I thought he should be, but that might have just been, like, I don't know, bad gear or something. But whenever we looked at, like, how Vora went, that was a lot easier. If anything, it took less time than Pete did, so that was weird, but seems good. The Celica, after its nerf, is still really, really strong, so I would recommend, if you have this mod, if you have the beta, try it out. It's on the Discord, so I have a link for that down in the description. And that'll pretty much do it for today. So yeah, that'll be day 7 or 8. I don't know, one of the two.